Beautiful. Glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. I'm just going to get comfortable in this super comfortable chair. So I'm not making too much noise. Then I'm just going to sit here quietly until I build an audience. Because I've worked really hard. I've worked too hard. I've worked too hard on this show. Actually, no. What you are about to hear was, well, you see. This is how I do it. Notes. This was written in the span of maybe 15, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Good morning. Yes. Well, not quite morning, but this is for the Atlantic time zone crowd. But I'm just hanging out in the garage. It's a bit cool out. Not nearly as cool as it is back on the East Coast. But we're going to talk about all that stuff. But I'm just going to be in here for a few moments. There's no specific time. But there are a few things that I want to talk about. And I did put a post up a few moments ago saying that there was a Grant rant was building. It's bubbling. It's percolating. And it's coming to the surface. And it's going to arrive here in about 20 minutes when I get to the end of this. So I'm going to save all the nasty for the end. It won't be nasty. It won't. I just have to say a few things. If there's a lesson in anything here tonight, it's don't keep things bottled down. You could do exactly what I'm doing right now, but instead of turning on your camera, you could write it all down. Your thoughts for the day, all your negative thoughts for the day, read it out loud, read it silently, and then burn it. Burn it. Forget about it. Learn about it. Move on to the next day. Yes? Alrighty then. Right now it is dark outside. The moon is up. Mars is up. It's a beautiful thing. Get outside and look at the stars whenever you possibly can. Overcast conditions here on the south coast for the next few days. Sun will come back on Thursday, but staying nice. 6 degrees. 3 degrees right now, but it's not the minus 10 degrees in Woodstock, New Brunswick. I just checked AccuWeather in the Woodstock area, and I'm wondering, is that an accurate temperature currently for the Woodstock area? It's telling me minus 10. I just couldn't read any further. I couldn't read any further, and I'll tell you why. Because I remember, Tom Campbell, welcome to the broadcast, because I remember I don't know, just last week, everyone was just walking around in t-shirts and, open liquor in the parks because it was 70 degrees. And they were making fun of me because snow was forecast out here. We didn't get snow, and you're getting minus 10. Oh! So, I enjoy the ribbing back and forth. I really do. Okay, the 21st. A lot happened. I'm going to tell you over the span of the next few moments, I'm going to tell you about 3 specific interactions that I had with 3 friends of mine, okay? So that's going to be, I'll spread that out through the broadcast. Mildred, welcome to the broadcast. I'll get to that in just a moment. I'll get to what will be filling in behind me in just a couple of moments. But first, I want to get serious here. Tomorrow is the 22nd, and I will be facilitating a celebration of life ceremony for the late Wayne McDonald, who was a radio broadcasting instructor, NBCC Woodstock back in the day, and so much more. I have created a Zoom meeting. This will be done on Zoom. Jen and I, with our hold space, we have the Zoom Pro, so I can hold up to 100 people. So I will be putting out an invite, 30 minutes. It will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That's Atlantic time because the majority of the audience is back in the Maritimes. So this will be a 7 p.m. Atlantic time, and I will be putting up the Zoom link about 6:30. At exactly 6:30, the Zoom link will go up. Copy it. Get yourself ready for this ceremony because I will be deleting that link about 20 minutes later because that is not something that you want to make public. I know no one will abuse this event, but if you knew Wayne McDonald, you are certainly invited. I honestly have no idea. I have no idea the amount of people that will be there. There could be 12 people, there could be 50, there could be 60. I don't know. I don't know. But if you had any connection with Wayne McDonald, I will be putting up the Zoom link tomorrow about 6:30 Atlantic time. Okay? All right. Okay, let's talk about something really awesome that's been happening. And it's everything to do with what is not behind me right now. The MattTv Canadian Unity flag is not behind me. And it hasn't been behind me during a podcast for the last 4.5 months. And I'll tell you why. The flag was sent back to Fredericton, New Brunswick. And I'm just going to as quickly as I can, give you the rundown on what's happened in the last 4 months in the communities. This is, I believe, the flag is now on its way back out here. You probably saw the pictures on my Facebook page. Thank you so much to Peter Margison for taking those pics today. I believe those were taken today before they were, the flag was put in a package and sent out here. But I'll get to that story in just a couple of moments. So the flag left here, I want to say July 9th. I'm pretty sure that was the exact day that the flag left here, July 9th. It went to Fredericton. It then went to Perth Andover. It was back in my hometown in Woodstock. It went to Fredericton, Digby, now Halifax. So it's just kind of pinballed in the Atlantic provinces. And it's funny because when it went in, the Atlantic bubble existed. So in the time that the flag has been visiting the Maritimes, yes, the Atlantic bubble has popped. And things aren't good in a lot of places across the globe, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just not going to talk about the global pandemic tonight. Ninth time, so I'm just talking about some things. Oh, I just want to let... Peter Margison is a childhood friend of mine, and I could tell you all kinds of stories. Peter and I playing baseball and just all the great times that we had during high school. But he was the last recipient, and I'm so happy that Peter Margison was the last recipient of the MattTv Canadian Unity flag. It's now on its way back out here, but today he was taking pictures. He went to Citadel Hill, and I've been there. I just absolutely love Halifax. If I had a choice of one other Canadian city to live in, it would be in Halifax. So I'm so thankful that Peter was able to get the flag out to Citadel Hill. And the pictures were magnificent. The one on the cannon, awesome. The ones on the lawn. The one on the bench is now like my cover photo. Just really great photos. You just...
Going to take Kai and the girls up to River Street.
Okay. All right. Okay, I've lost my track. Peter. Peter taking pictures. What I didn't realize, and what those that saw the pictures didn't realize, and I only discovered this with messaging back and forth with Peter in Messenger, that it was really windy. It was really windy. Must have been today. It was a beautiful day, I believe, in Halifax. So all those photos were taken under extremely windy conditions. So kudos to Peter for not having the flag, blow off one of the hills. But I think one of my favorite pics, you can actually see Halifax Harbor in the background if you just click and zoom in on the pic. So Peter, thank you so much, brother. So that's my one story. That's my one friend. And I don't necessarily have to name the other two. And I probably won't. But I'll get to that in a couple of moments. I'm weaving these stories together here. It's never too early to watch Christmas movies. Here we are, late November, and Jen and I watched our first sit-down, watched the full movie last night, and it was Jim Carrey playing Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. And I just absolutely, I don't know what it is about Jim Carrey. He certainly has changed over the years. He's, like everyone else, he's evolved as a person. And I've gained a lot more respect for him. But the guy is just so super talented. And every person who has filled those roles in that movie over the years has always just impressed me. Just because the story is so awesome. I just absolutely, if you don't shed a tear every single time you watch that movie, it's just, you don't have a soul. Now maybe that's That's too that's too weird. Okay, Jim Carrey, Christmas Carol. Again, I'm just telling you things that have happened in my life, and feel free to leave comments if you so choose. If you're watching this at a later date, I love hanging out here. I know I don't do it enough. Is it on Netflix? Is it on Netflix? I believe it is. I believe that's where we watched it, was on Netflix. But you could probably find that on YouTube as well. But I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it. We first saw it in the theater. It was 3D. But when you do see the movie, you'll understand how incredibly awesome it would have been to have seen it in 3D. Quickly, just going to shift gears real quick. Those that know me probably don't know my wife so much, Jen, but we have gone into business together. We have hold space, and a few weeks ago we put it out there that we were going to be talking to just an unbelievable individual, the author of over 56 books, one of the key guys in palliative care, Harry Van Bommel. We put the invite out there. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I know people are busy, but it just turned out that it was Jen and I and Harry Van Bommel, and we had an awesome, excellent chat. We spoke for nearly an hour and a half today. And you have to understand, we've never, this was our first interaction with Harry, and Jen and I, he was compelling, and we were compelling to him, and we just hung out, and we just learned so much, and it was just unbelievable. And these are just some of his books here. These are just some of his books. We did record it. Whether or not we're going to put that stuff up is yet to be determined. But it was an exercise in manifestation. We just thought to ourselves, we can email Harry and ask him and invite him to do this. The worst he can say is, no, I'm busy. But it was the emails back and forth. It was just a great exchange. Awesome day. Had a chance to go to the beach. And again, I'm just telling you what happened today. But I am getting to my rant. Because I did post that a Grant rant was building. I'm just right now having a hard time reading my writing. Oh yes, it just turned about. The whole time I'm trying to see this. Yes, there was just the three of us. But that's okay. Okay, Jim Carrey. Okay, no notes on the back. Okay, so this is what I've been wanting to say. This is in regards to one final thing. Simon McGinnis. I've been out here on, I'm just going to give a shout out to Simon McGinnis right now. I have been out here on the West Coast for over 20 years. And within the last few months, Simon McGinnis is the guy who I have stayed in contact with the most. So just a shout out to Simon McGinnis. Yeah, and this is just strictly phone calls. And if you know me, if you've seen my show, man, you know that I'm all about being able to hear someone. And now we have the technology where you can actually see them at the same time. Like if you're not already taking advantage of the technology that allows you to instantly connect with someone, what are you waiting for? In this moment in 2020, in this global pandemic, if you're not even thinking about reaching out to someone I don't know, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I'm sure he does, Ton. Okay, Simon, so that was my second interaction. A few moments ago, I told you that I had 3 interactions with 3 friends of mine from back home, and we're kind of all scattered around right now. The next individual, I'm not going to mention their name. And this is just, and I've actually deleted the post. I deleted the post that I put up earlier. And I might jump around a little bit, but I'll start off this rant, and trust me, you're not going to hear any vulgar language or any profanity. That's not how I roll. I word it in a different way. I express it in a different way so that it makes sense, or at least makes some sense. But I'm going to start this off by saying, don't troll my Facebook page. If I'm putting up posts 2 or 3 times a day and I don't hear a peep from you, you don't send me a message in Messenger, I don't even know you exist, But if I put up something political, you're just on it. And I am done. I am so done interacting with individuals who, for whatever reason, here's what it comes down to. You're okay with the character of Donald Trump. I'm not. I never have been. And this whole, you could go back 2 years on this video, on my show, and you will never, ever hear me say anything about Donald Trump getting a second chance. Never wrote it, never gave him a second chance. He is getting exactly what he deserves. It is, what it's coming down to are all these lawsuits. Last I heard, he was 1 for 32. Lawyers are withdrawing their cases. The case in Pennsylvania was just thrown out, not only because they couldn't prove anything with 1 vote, let alone 7 million. So you think that it is software that somehow was rigged in these Dominion voting machines, only in states where Trump eventually lost. The Trump campaign told his supporters to go out the day of and vote, go out in masses and vote, and they did. They did. The Democrats, and this is not fake news, this is what happened. The Democrats told their supporters, there is a global pandemic. Request mail-in ballots. We will send it to you. And you can send it back. You won't even have to leave your friggin' home. Which is what they did. So, of course, tallying up all the votes, just a few hours after everything closes, of course Trump is in the lead. But, oh my goodness, math kicks in. And what do? They look over and go, oh yes, we must count all the ones that were mailed in, that we can only start counting at a certain time of day. These are rules that were already put out. So now it's going to come down to all these judges, all these individuals who have the duty to preside over these cases. Now, Trump is going to say that they're in on this scam? Really? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Trump is eventually going to run out of people to blame. Man up. It's so embarrassing. But getting back to my point, don't troll. Don't troll my Facebook page, because I will put you in a block party with a bunch of other people. It's social media. It's social media. If you're going to get upset, it's character. It's character, man. And I don't. If his character doesn't jive with mine, how do you think I can jive with you? How? How is it possible? So it's better for me just to say goodbye, goodbye. Maybe I never really knew these people. Maybe I just never really knew these people. It makes me sad, though. It makes me sad. I feel sad. I feel sad for, man. I don't know what to say. Sad thing is, he's not going anywhere. You know? I'd love to see every network, every fake news network, just to stop caring about what Donald Trump does. After January 21st, on January 21st, let's just forget about Donald Trump. Let's just forget about him. Move on. It's not that easy. Don't troll. Don't troll my Facebook page. Especially if you've made absolutely no attempt to contact me in 20 years. I'm the instigator. I am the one who reaches out to people. You know, I could count on one hand the number of times I've heard from, childhood friends. You'd need 4 hands the other way around. So, anyway, Paul, welcome. So that's my rant. So, like again, no profanity, no vulgarity, just truth. I'm just tired. You give yourself like, okay, I'll give this 6 comments and then I'm going to bail. But I make an effort. I make an effort to not personally insult people on threads because other people are reading it. I don't make a point to insult people in messages. But when having discussions with Donald Trump never end up well. When like anti-Trump, pro-Trump, that's all you're going to do, man. That's all you're going to do. And it's just not, it's not worth it. So for me on social media, I just say, goodbye. There's a part of me, I don't think you'll ever forget those. Like 30, 40 years down the road, like many, many years after Donald Trump is long gone, you'll always remember this period of time where it was just so chaotic. And he just seemed to be in the middle of frigging everything. You know why? Because he's a narcissist. That's what he needs. That's what he thrives on. He loves it. He loves the chaos. Loves it. If you can't see that, or if you think that's okay, then I'm not okay with... This is good therapy for me. This is good therapy for me. Just trying to not lose it too bad. But I certainly don't have, I don't know. Yeah, I feel sad for him, but there's like this collective grief. Like no one, unless you're in the top 1%, no one is in their right mind right now. Like, I've never seen a population so divided by common sense and science together. To me, and this is just me, but if you agree with what I'm going to say, just give me a thumbs up. When this whole thing started, if we just could have stayed home for a couple of weeks, if we all could have just stayed home and just followed directions that one time, and then wash your hands like good boys and girls, give me some friggin' space, and when you holler like that, you spit. So put on a friggin' mask. Like, we're supposed to be the most intelligent species on the planet? Really? Are you kidding me? Please show me where that is happening right now in 2020. Please. I've never seen a leader, a man with so much power, consumed by everything but his frickin' job. Fox and Friends, golf, and Twitter. I think one of my projects coming up, if you would like me to narrate with some background music some of Donald Trump's tweets, just give me a thumbs up and I'll get that project on the go tonight. I'll get it on the go tonight. If you would like to hear me narrate the latest Donald Trump tweets, let me know and I'll send them to you, because it is just absolutely so outrageous. Mr. Taylor, how are you, brother? Okay. That was my rant. That rant was brought to you by the color orange and the animal orangutan. Okay. One final thing. Music. What kind of music? I would probably go with Benny Hill. I would probably go with Benny Hill theme music and put him going up and down that ramp again. You get my point. Can someone please put up a YouTube link from Benny Hill? Benny Hill was one of the first late night shows I ever watched with Clay Peabody. Little known secret. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Final thing. Please, someone put up that link and I will jibber jabber to the old, the tweets from the twit on Twitter. Dolt 45. I'm going to close with this. Again, thank you so much to Peter Margison. Oh, that's what I want to do. One final story. Only because 7 people are watching the broadcast, and seven happens to be my lucky number. I'm sorry that you're crying, but I'm going to take it. That's a good thing. I'm taking because you're laughing so hard, you're crying. If that is accurate, I've done my job. Okay, final story. Flag story. And this story, this is how I'm going to end my broadcast. So thank you for the live views. If you're hanging out, some areas it's Sunday. It's early Sunday. It's just after 8 o'clock here on the South Coast. Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. Oh, I got a visitor. Hang on. Come here, bud. Come here. Oh, so hang on. I got to get Zora. Who's the big man? Look. Who's that? Whoa. Someone get a screenshot of this. Who's that? I know, right? You okay, buds? I love you so much. I'm just doing a show. Yeah, I'm almost done. Awesome. Oh, so Ton, I'm going to assume that is a link to Benny Hill. Love it. Okay, getting back to this is how I'm going to close out the show on a good note, as they say. Okay, and this story. How long have I been going here? I started my show at 8 o'clock. Does anyone have a current time for me? Don't know what that screaming is about. Okay, final story. And it's a flag story. And if you've heard too many of the flag stories, you can move up through your newsfeed or do whatever you want to do. Or you can hang out for 5 minutes, because that's probably how long it's going to take. But it's a good one. It's a gooder. I don't know if I've told this before, but for those watching the program for the first time, welcome. And this is my one of my favorite flag stories. So, 29 minutes. Okay, I'll wrap this up here in the next 5 minutes. We're going back a few years, and the MattTv Canadian Unity flag is with my really good friend Kevin Lockman in Prince Edward Island. I want to say it's 2017. The summer of 2017, I believe. That's kind of the ballpark. The flag is going from Prince Edward Island to Moncton to meet up with Darren O'Donnell. Dude, the flag is on its way to C-103 in Moncton. I always recommend that when the flag travels, it is inside its own Ziploc bag, inside of a Canada Post bubble wrap envelope. And I'll tell you why. And this, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this, my Aunt Una will freak out when she hears this story because she worries when the flag's not here, she worries. And Una, you know, you'll be the first person to know when the flag is safely back here. So Kevin Lockman is sending the flag from his place to Moncton. And the address is for C-103 with the sender address Kevin Lockman. Very important to remember this information. The package is now traveling in a vehicle getting ready to go across the Confederation Bridge by the postmaster. The head guy is delivering this load from Prince Edward Island going across the Confederate Bridge into Moncton. On his way to the Confederate Bridge or somewhere along the route or just afterwards, he noticed that there was a shift in the load. He could tell because he's the postmaster. He probably knows that there's been a shift in the load. Anyway, he pulls off to the side of the road, opens up the back, inspects, and sure enough, a package that had a type of liquid in it burst and was leaking onto the flag package. Dun, dun, dun. The liquid completely destroyed the address to where it was going. But there was a little bit remaining of where it was coming from, Kevin Lockman. I think actually the only thing that you were able to read was the name Kevin Lockman. The postmaster knew Kevin Lockman. So returned, got it all sorted out, put it in a brand new package, and it continued on its way. That's how close that I know of how close the flag came to being lost. But you can't really, if someone, I think I was talking with Simon about this today, if someone for whatever reason decided that, you know what, I'd like that flag for myself, how do you explain to your friends how you now have a Canadian flag with over nearly 1,100 signatures on it? Oh, I just went out last night. Yeah, there was a pub down the street and there just happened to be 1,100 people there. All right, Gary. All right. Anyway, so that's my story. That's my story for you. Yeah, so, and I'm sure that the individuals who have taken on the responsibility for this flag, they have great stories as well. The list of people who have accepted responsibility is just tremendously long. And pictures, people taking their pictures, having themselves taken in pictures with the flag. That's what I'm trying to say. So just an incredible story. The flag is now in the hands of Canada Post. I should have it out here late next week. I don't know, maybe this week. I'm not sure how quickly it will get across Canada, but I'm certainly looking forward to it getting here. And when the flag does arrive, it's going to be right here, baby. Oh, and I'm going to put this out into the universe as well. I'll leave you with this. I know I've said this many times. That exact phrase, I'll leave you with this. This is probably the third or fourth time that I'm leaving you with something. Jim Carrey. Speak it into existence. Remember those words when you wake up tomorrow or when you shut your eyes tonight. Speak it into existence. And I'm speaking this into existence that someday in the near future, 2021, I will have Jim Carrey on a podcast episode of MattTv. I don't necessarily have to close my eyes, but I did anyway. Speak it into existence. All right. Mr. Gerhard, what's up, brother? You just you're just catching the last parts of a tremendously horrible show. No, it wasn't. It was, I don't know, C-. I'm so hard on myself. Okay, that's going to do it for me. Listen, thanks for hanging out. I just needed to vent a little bit. It's therapy for me. You know, anyone who's seen me on here, you know it's therapy. It needs to be done. If you don't have an outlet, your head's going to explode and you're going to end up taking it out on someone eventually. So, yes, excellent. All right, okay. Yeah, man, put it out there. Put it out there. Jim Carrey and I, we'd have a great time. I'm actually going to go in the house and watch Christmas Carol again. I'm going to watch it again. I feel a good cry. You know what? I said this to Jen today, and I'm not embarrassed to say this. Crying is good for you, but I feel like there's a swelling of sorrow right here. Like I know I'm on the verge, on the cusp, on the edge of a good cry, but I don't know what that trigger's going to be. I don't know what that trigger is going to be, but and I'm not forcing it, but I'm expecting it in a good way. Excellence, Mr. Campbell. You are a rock star. Gold star for you, brother. Okay, one final thing. Let's everyone put out some good thoughts for the MattTv Canadian Unity flag, that it arrives safely back here on the beautiful south coast of supernatural British Columbia. Okay, that's going to do it for me. From the very beginning, tomorrow afternoon at 6:30, tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic time, I will be posting a Zoom link to the Wayne McDonald Celebration of Light ceremony, which will happen at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So if you knew Wayne McDonald, this is something that you might want to check out, because I really don't know the number of people that are going to be there, but for me, it'll be an opportunity to reconnect with people. I really stress reconnecting with people, especially with what's going on right now. If you're not this, just be in the moment, and when you feel the urge to reach out to someone on Messenger is a beautiful thing. When you're on your Messenger and you see who is live, like who's online, stop and say hi to someone you haven't talked to in a while. You may have 150 friends that are currently active on your phone. Say hi to 3 or 4 of them. Say hi to 3 or 4. What's the harm? Krista, welcome. Okay, Ton, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting up that link. I'm going to watch it right now. But first, I'm going to empty my bladder because, well, Benny Hill, sometimes a little bit of pee comes out. Okay, on that disgusting note, I'm going to end the show. Thanks for hanging out. If you're watching this at a later date, thanks for getting caught up. This is Matthew, and this is kind of MattTv, but on my own page. We're on the South Coast, baby.